Hello, ladies and gentlemen, from the Dolby Theater in Hollywood, California. Greek Reporter is here tonight to cover the premiere of Star Trek Into Darkness. Let's go see what's going on the carpet.
Nico's here?
Well, we're one of the people who are obsessed with it. I mean, we were so scared to take it on at the beginning because we loved it so much, and then we sort of felt like because we feel that responsibility, we had to take it on. So it's amazing.
If you don't know Star Trek, it's okay. The movie has to be its own story, stand on its own, so you can bring non-Star Trek fans to this movie.
Why should see the film? Because it's badass. It'll rip you right out of your seat.
And working with Chris and Zoe, amazing.
Such a bummer. Yeah. It's awesome. So much fun.
Sulu's journey in this movie, I feel like, is reflective of a mirror reflection of Captain Kirk's journey, which is a crisis into leadership, and I feel like that's what Into Darkness is about. It's his struggling with the chair and what it means to be, and also what does villainy mean? What is good? What is bad? And how do I attack something that's a gray area?
What is the best and worst trait of your character, you would say?
The best and worst traits, I think, are the same. Ambition, which I feel like is maybe your best and worst trait.
I would like you to elaborate a little bit about the creatures that you designed for this Star Trek. Name a few and give us some more details.
Sure. Well, there's Planet Nibiru, which is our opening sequence, and it is full of an indigenous race called the Nibiruns. And that one was a challenge because we were collectively looking for what this could be. And we found the design in an actor who had a very specific look that allowed us to not have to do too much to them already, which is great. But the other end of the spectrum were the Klingons, which everyone knows what they look like, everyone has an opinion of what they should look like, so it's a very risky design to endeavor upon because the canon is so specific, and you want to be respectful of that, respectful of the fans, but also mindful of JJ's hope to do something a little bit more evolved, perhaps.
The ambition was to make a big, fun, action-adventure movie that had huge heart. It was really about emotion, about family, about honor and loyalty, and that you can go through something really insane and really intense and survive it and be stronger because of the people with whom you work.
I don't feel threatened. I feel definitely pushed more because technology of computer graphics is so good now that what it means is your images that you put on screen will look real. So the fact that they can look real means you have a greater responsibility to make them be plausible from a biological standpoint, as well as from a surfacing standpoint. You got to be that much more mindful of being real with it, because with 4K and with high def, it all shows up now, whereas before it wasn't as critical.
IMAX was a choice because it looks extraordinary, and that combined with the 3D in a movie that is, I think, this epic of scale, it deserved it. I think it looks like nothing you've ever seen before.
So, do you mind maybe thinking about another one? A new Star Trek?
We haven't had any official discussions yet, but a bunch of casual discussions. And if there is to be a third movie, I'm sure there's a fun adventure that this crew can go on.
A new Star Trek?
Let's see if people like this one first, right?
Yeah,
we gotta
tell
see.
us. Yeah, we hope so.
You know, JJ was saying before we shot the movie that he wanted his son to see it, and what I thought was special about the script was that it challenged being a leader doesn't necessarily mean throwing punches. It doesn't necessarily mean being courageous. It means being courageous enough to examine yourself, which I think is a great lesson for fatherhood. I think it's a great lesson for your son.
What's your favorite Star Trek moment of all time, whether it's these movies or others?
For me, geez, I'm gonna go with the television episode. I'll go with Sulu shirtless fencing.
Okay, so I play this guy who is an admiral who has a particular agenda to save the world because he has heart in the right place, and he has to do some things in order to stop the world from being destroyed by a particular evil that's coming our way. And he's right. And he's good. And certain things happen not according to his plan.
Thank you.
I play Dr. Carol Marcus, who's a weapons specialist and has a PhD in advanced physics, and she finds her way onto the Enterprise and ends up being involved in saving the world.
How do you prepare for the role?
All the normal ways. You know, I watched the original series and I watched the movies, and then I did my own research into her personal history and what I thought she'd gone through as a human, and then you kind of bring it to the set and work with JJ. I love the scene where they go onto the Klingon planet and they have a big fight, and it's kind of dark and brown. It reminds me of the 90s.
It was a great experience for me. I loved all that part of the movie and got a lot out of it. So I hope it translates.
What's the change between the relationship of Spock and Kirk?
They grow a lot in this movie. I think they learn a lot from each other in this movie, and they realize how much they need each other. So it's a good evolution for them.
How much of your stunts did you do on your own?
As many as I could, as many as they would let me do. There was a certain point past which we weren't actually legally able to do them, but I mean, worked really closely with the stunt team. They were incredible on this movie, and it wouldn't look anywhere near as good without them, so we're really grateful.